Hi guys, welcome back to Club Import Tuning Tuesday. Today we're with Hussein from Racebox. He's down here from Texas tuning some of the SoCal Infiniti Q50s and Q60s. I'm gonna let you guys hear it from him himself as to what he likes to see on these cars and what he thinks the future holds for this platform. Thank you guys.
Hi guys, so my name is Hussein. I started tuning these cars. Well, actually, it's better if I give you more of a background. I grew up loving cars. You know, I'm only 26. I'm not that old. I grew up loving cars. Never really had the opportunity to work on cars myself. In 2018, I picked up a 2018 Q50 Red Sport, and that was, you know, like a game changer for me. It was my first car that made more than 300 to the wheels. It was my first car that made more than 200 to the wheels, honestly. It was my first rear-wheel drive car, and the first car that was my own, brand new. You know, I'd always been through like used cars as a kid in high school and college and all that. I got that car, and then immediately within a month, I had the still-in intakes. As I'm sure people know, they don't really work well without a tune. I ended up getting rid of them because I didn't want to tune it at that time. And then a little bit later, maybe like 2 months into owning the car, I got a JB4. And then I started playing with that, and I got, I was like looking at the logs, looking here and there, like, oh, okay, this is what you can do. And I started understanding more and more and more. And I got tired of JB4, and I was like, well, I want to tune these cars, right? And, Ecutech has a little bit of an entrance barrier. It is pretty expensive to buy all the suites and all that. So I actually reached out to these guys on Instagram. I think at the time the program was called ECU Booster or something. There were these dudes in Russia. It's like a language barrier and everything. And I bought from them, a really basic ROM editing tool. That was actually a true flash. I used to use PCM flash to flash the car and everything. But they didn't have all the cool add-ons that Ecutech has for tuners where it, they rewrite the boost control strategy to make it easier for you to tune and all that. And so when I was using that, it was like a pseudo tune. I was using JB4 plus ECU Booster. ECU Booster was doing all my fueling and timing, and then I had the JB4. I ran that for about 6 months. I think the car, it made like 454 on JB4 plus that. It was crazy. It was a cold day in Houston, so I got lucky with some good boost weather that day. And then, I was like, okay, well, this is great. I actually want to start tuning. So then I kind of coughed up the money for Ecutech in September 2019. And I tuned my car for a month, and I had my first customer, who, if you guys are familiar with the community, you might know George Brummel. He was the first guy to, trust me with his car outside of my own. And he was E85, stock turbos, and, that kind of set it off. Like, I had George's car. We made 515 on it. It was great. It was wonderful. Then he sent it down to me to get Pure Stage 2s put on it. We made 600 on it, and at that time we were the first non-shop car to break 600, whatever. It was the first customer car of mine to break 600 on Pure Stage 2 turbos, and then that kind of set it off. From there, it's kind of been, I've been blessed. It's been an upward trend. More and more business. We keep doing, or I guess I keep doing what I'm good at. I keep trying to improve every day. I'm always making minor adjustments. I mean, if you ask my customers, from some of my OG customers, you'll see that they'll get a random email from me one day where I'm like, hey man, this one thing I used to do, I do it better now. Here you go. Here's a new file, right? And so I'm always looking to improve and make things better. And I love tuning these cars. I've grown into doing other cars. I do the VQs now. In the BMW platform, I do the B58 TUs with the Supras, the A90 and A91 Supras, the new M340s, the N55s, the S55s. I've tuned a couple GTRs now. That's a little bit of a harder market to break into. But yeah, I mean, VR30s are, I love them. I still have one. I recently got rid of my original Red Sport, and I just got a really base model all-wheel drive. I went for the weight savings this time, and I'm looking forward to having an all-wheel drive car and, breaking some more records on that. And, can't wait to see what the future holds. I've only been at this for about a year and a half now, so, I can only assume it can only go up from here, I hope. CPAN asked me to talk about some of the problems I see with these cars. From owners. The biggest thing I see is heat exchangers. I mean, it blows my mind how many people bring a car to me on the dyno, and it's just the heat exchanger is not bled properly. And so you have a P14 AC code, which means that your charge air cooler pump is locked up. It's airlocked because it wasn't bled properly. And when that happens, you need to vacuum bleed the whole system again and re-bleed it, and that's not something that we can usually do on the dyno, and then we have to end up charging people, shop hours and all that. So that's the major thing. If you install a heat exchanger, make sure someone bleeds it right for you. I recommend the Infiniti dealers, and use your Ecutech app to check and see if you have that P14 AC. That's like the biggest hindrance to tuning a car on the dyno.
What do you see as far as, this platform going? Do you think it has more space?
I think it has a lot of space. I think we're starting to reach the limits of the stock blocks. I mean, we've got a couple cars at 700 on the stock block, and honestly, those customers ask me, hey, can we push it more? And I'm scared to push it more, being quite honest, because I don't know what this block can handle. I'd love to see 800 on a stock block. I think that might be like a one-off where someone has like a blessed block that was built on, you know, on like a Wednesday when someone's not early in the week and not end of the week. Someone was just on their game, or the robot was on its game and it built a good block. I think realistically we're going to start seeing these cars break into the 1,000 horsepower range, but they're going to be fully built blocks. You know, we got more transmission options, so that's not a problem. But I think you're going to see cars with a built bottom end, maybe a closed deck block, who knows? But a built bottom end with those big Garrett turbos, the G25 550s or the 660s. I think we'll realistically in this year see a car break 1,000 horsepower. And then from there, you know, once you break 1,000, it's just way on up from there. So I think these cars have potential. And I think once the 400Z comes out, we're going to see a lot more.
Thank you, Hussein, for everything. Yeah. Thank you for giving us your time.
My pleasure, man. And, thanks for having me. And thanks for coming out here, man.
Hopefully you come out here to Cali more often.
Yeah, I want to. I mean, it's beautiful. At least you get to see mountains in Houston. All I see is flat land and traffic. So it's a nice change.
Guys. Thank you.